be the camp maid.
You don't call me a maid. I consider it.
The camptress.
Yeah, that's not going to work either. This is something better.
All right, we are live here at Ultra Products, and up for discussion. This evening is a cool one.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Different.
we've been working on some things the last couple of weeks, and this is kind of be the culmination of that. For those that are just tuning in, this episode is episode number 15. Sorry.
Couldn't find it.
Episode number 15, called Path to the Podium. And we're going to kind of get more in depth on what Path to the Podium is throughout the podcast, but it's kind of a concept that we're kind of excited about.
Going to do more than one possibly on this, probably.
We will do periodically. We will be bringing people on. We've got
to show us the path.
That's right.
Narrow path.
We need somebody to show us the path.
I was just talking to Bill on the phone. You were too.
That's right.
Lead me down the path to the podium.
It's always
Unveil
good
it.
to talk to Bill.
So we will have, speaking of that, we're going to have Bill McCall on at some point, dealing with Path to the Podium. We will probably have, hopefully at some point we can get PJ Riley on.
Sure, we can.
And I think we might get Danny Evans on. Danny shoots for Matthews. So there's several people that we're hoping to get on to talk about what we're doing, talk about what that will possibly mean for, I don't know, what I think it's going to be cool.
Yeah.
So
you got to explain, I guess.
I will. Let's go ahead and start out by introducing the people that are here this evening.
Without introduction. Here's a man who needs no introduction.
Wes Hutchcraft.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
All right. So this evening we've got Josh Eblin with us. If you guys have watched, Josh has been on a couple times. And Josh is going to be a partaker in this project that we've got going.
He's going to walk the path to the podium with us.
He
Yes. Hopefully lead the way.
Hey, man.
Challenge accepted.
Hey, man, that's what it takes around here.
We also have Doug Doty. Doug is going to be on this adventure with us. So
Not going to lead the way, or going to try to lead the way?
Look, I don't need to get into all the trash talk.
It's still early.
I'm just going to do it. I'll look back at you guys a couple times. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll hand your bow to you.
Yeah.
Aren't you going to shoot the
The bow bearer. All right. We got a volunteer.
is that
Aren't
like a
you shooting
bow
a
caddy?
different class?
That's what it
than we
would
are?
be. Oh, yeah. Whisper
So let me
in
get
your
into
ear.
that.
Because I think
So
we're
here-
all in the same class, and I think
Let's-
you're shooting a different class.
Let's hold up before we get too far.
Oh boy, you just can't do it.
Let's
so,
hold
Doug,
up.
yes, let's back to you.
So let's go to what essentially what this project is going to be, because people at home are wondering what in the world we're even talking about. Path to the Podium. So, and we might have to periodically do this just for the guys that are tuning on a little bit later.
I got to stop you for just a second. Really got loud in my ears all of a sudden. Just take it down a freckle.
All right.
Thank you.
So
I want to be able to hear. I want to be able to hear when I get on the podium. Right? That's when. Okay, go ahead.
Oh wow.
So what we are doing is,
Better.
I don't know how long it's been. It's probably been maybe 4 weeks ago, roughly a month ago. Josh was in here on a Saturday and he said something. I can't remember what it was, but it triggered a thought in my mind. And what the thought was, can the average guy compete with a professional?
Yeah.
And so that kept playing over in my head. And I told the guys, I'm like, we need to try that, because I feel like the average guy feels like the professionals are so far more advanced in their shooting and their techniques. And because of that, I felt like, and here's the thing, I'm okay with us doing this and not even coming close in my mind. Now, I don't think that's going to be the case, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Because the goal of this project is simply to find out, can the average guy compete with the pros?
There's no doubt about it.
So that's what we're going to do. We started 2 weeks ago, and we are on a 90-day project, or a 90-day.
This is getting
Blowing
good.
your ears out.
I'm like,
I need mine up. I need mine up.
oh,
Mine need
God.
to go. Mine need to go up.
So sorry, everybody. But
So we are on a 90-day pursuit to see if the average guy, well, there you go.
I'm not sure what just
I'm
happened.
coming back.
It's getting hot.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
If the average guy can compete with the pros.
Yeah.
So in 90 days from the time that we started, Metropolis is on June 27th. Metropolis is
That's
just
the ASA shoot at
it is
Metropolis.
the ASA. It's the Matthews shoot down there.
Yeah.
Matthews sponsors that shoot this year. And so we're going to go down there and we're going to compete with the pros.
Yeah. Dress to kill.
That's that's what Josh tells us.
Oh boy.
We're gonna look the part.
Well, maybe.
It'll be easier for some than others.
Well, yeah.
So you're.
I'm always dressed to kill.
Listen, it takes one to know one. So
Oh,
you
man.
could have a
this
point.
is what I always say, man. If you look good and you feel good, you are good.
Yeah.
So,
So what do you do?
Uh,
So what do you
I'll
do?
bring up the rear.
Okay, all right.
Some swagger.
So
Feel
we've
like I'm
got
lost.
90 days,
90 days.
which we don't have now. We've
No.
already
We-
embarked a little bit.
we're already 2 weeks in.
Yeah.
So 90 days from February 27th. or March 27th, sorry. And
To take ourselves from average Joe
from the average guy,
Average bow hunter.
yeah,
to be able to hang
hang with the
an,
pros.
with an ASA pro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what that looks like. So, and for those at home, you might not know, there's a lot of steps to that. It's
Mhm.
not just like, well, we're going to shoot a bunch, because it's more than that.
Yeah.
To be even remotely close to competitive with the pros, you've got to be able to look at distances and know what they are.
Yeah.
Anything 50 and under, you have to be able to look at it and say, all right, that's a 47-yard shot.
Yeah. You have to read the terrain.
You do. And if you get down there and you're like, well, that's a 43 and it's a 47, you're not going to hit where you need to hit.
You just shot a 5.
Yeah. So that's where we have really, there's several areas that we're going to have to work on.
Oh, yeah.
And that's one of them. Like the other day, I went out and took my rangefinder out and started just walking through my yard range and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And I told Doug I did this for probably 30 minutes, just trying to get an idea where I was at.
Like first guessing.
I would set my, yeah. So
He wasn't cheating.
Rangefinder's working real nice. So you were looking at something and saying
Taking your best guess.
yep.
33.
And I was trying to get in places where the light would cast in different ways.
Sure.
And because that's a definite part of it.
You're
So-
going to have a backdrop, and there's
Yep.
going to be limbs.
And
hanging.
there were times when I tried to do it whenever cloud cover came over to where I was, and I would get off. Like, and here's what I noticed. I was consistently off about 3 degrees hot. So I would be, let's say I was looking at it at 35 is what I was guessing. It would be 32.
Yeah.
And so
It's
in
good
my,
to know.
Yeah, sure
it
is.
was, because by the time 30 minutes was up, I'd already corrected that, because I knew, all right, I in my head, I was like, okay, that looks like 42. And then I'd go, all right, so I need to shoot 39.
Your mind was doing the math.
It was.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's important though, because without knowing that, you start making mistakes. If you can
Yeah,
make
you
those
gotta know a little bit of
corrections.
algebra.
And
Algebra
the
does.
difference in that is, as a hunter, whoop-de-doo.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's
If
instant.
It's a
you're
dead
like,
deer,
Of course,
yeah.
now most people's got a rangefinder.
Yeah,
Some
if
people
you're a
don't.
hunter, you go like this.
Yeah.
And then
maybe
you
not
know.
everybody, but even if they guess it as 35 and it's 32.
Right. It's still in the kill zone.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
holding, a good center mass lung shot. And the disparity there with nowadays bows is what? Inch and a quarter?
Yeah, it's
inch
not
and
gonna be a
maybe a
lot.
half.
Yes.
But you're shooting at what? An inch dot is the 12 ring, roughly an inch.
Yes.
So you're shooting at an inch dot. If you miss your yardage by 4 yards and you shoot an inch and a quarter low, you missed your dot.
right.
Even if you
yes.
had your hold on.
Yeah.
Right.
Like if you had a perfect release and your hold is
Right,
on,
right.
you missed the 12
Yeah.
ring. And you can't win a pro shoot by missing the 12 ring very many times.
No.
No, you can't.
I
Right.
talked to someone today that was affiliated with the ASA, and she was giving me some scores,
Yeah.
and she was throwing out a couple perfect scores.
Was it
That's-
freaking you out?
Yeah, 240 out of 240.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, that's pretty good.
So
Yeah.
they
That's-
hit,
I
they
mean,
hit
I'd say
every
Every one
12.
of them.
They hit every
one.
12.
They hit every
ring.
12. And that's
Yeah.
that's what
But that's no 14s because there's a 14
the
mark.
14 is only in the shoot off. That
Oh.
That 14 is only when it comes down, and there's some, I don't know all this stuff, right, guys?
And see, that's another part of this is
Knowing
we
the
are
rules.
in a quest to
To
figure
learn
out the
the
rules.
yeah,
rules.
knowledge
Right.
and
Right.
Yeah.
you know, there's gonna be some trial and error here.
So-
Because I didn't
when-
know that. Because
Yeah.
when we shot ASA at the lower class, like hunter and novice,
It
the
was
14
open.
was open the whole time.
It's like a sudden death match. It's like they've run out of time for the day. They're going to call a shoot off now, that 14 ring. Because if you look at the 14, it's like an inch off the 5.
Yeah.
It's right
Yeah,
there in
it's-
that back.
It's
Yeah.
back there in no
Yeah,
man's, land.
That's right.
On a as a hunter, it would be
Oh, it'd be sweet meat
a
right
high.
there.
It would be a high
High lung.
liver, possibly kidney shot.
Right.
Yeah.
back of the lungs.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
the very back
Right.
tip of the lobe of the lung.
Which I'll mention, if you disconnect those two, they fall pretty quick.
But we
Good to
we
know.
would all we
Good
would all
knowledge.
admit we would all stand here to admit as a hunter though you're not aiming for a 14
No.
ring on
Right.
a live deer.
No,
Yeah.
you're not.
Now the 12, 10, the two 12s, there's two 12s, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in the pro, you're saying not both 12s are open.
No, the lower is in play all the time.
Yes, and then you can
You
call.
can call the upper.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt.
Yes,
So
you can be like for money.
Because the lower 12 could, if you're the fourth shooter, could be full.
Of arrows. That's right,
Right.
and you can't get in there
Yeah,
because you're gonna deflect.
because the bigger diameter, you got 3 arrows in the 12. You can't get in there with 3 arrows in it already.
And that's how you know when you're like, I'll take the
I'd
top
take the
one,
Top one.
Yeah.
and you look at them and smile. And
Turn around and wink at the pros next to you. And instead of saying this is not my first rodeo,
Yeah.
saying this is my first rodeo.
this is indeed.
I mean, listen, man, you have to come in here because I was talking to my wife about this, and it's easy to get in your head because you're like, man, look at the people I'm going against, and I'm like, wait a minute, I've not met a single one of them. I've seen some of their names, but I know that I'm a fair archer. I'm willing to take a shot. And I've been doing it a long time. And I know that if I just sit here and put my nose to this thing and grind and grind and grind and could, just work on these little tweaks.
Yeah.
It's just all rhythm, man. And
So let's do this. Let's give ourselves a rating on a 1 to 10 scale
now
Because-
we're in 90.
right now. Because here's the thing. I feel like this is for the average guy.
Yeah,
I want the average guy to know that if they dedicated time to it,
they can do it.
they could be a great archer.
They can do it.
Yeah.
They can stand on the podium.
Like, that's what this is about. This isn't about us trying to prove a point. Like, this is to help the average guy.
I'm trying to prove a point.
Instill
I'm
some
not.
confidence
I'm
in
not, yeah.
men and women and children.
to know that they could do it.
Yeah.
And to me, there's something about that the archery industry needs.
Sure.
Like, for people to know that they could do it. Like, right now, we're trying in our area to get guys that are interested in tournament shooting.
Oh, it's awesome.
Because here's the thing, there's nothing more to me, there's nothing that's going to make you a better shot in the woods than spending time shooting.
Yes, in the woods.
Absolutely. And to me, it's a great opportunity for us to help people get engaged in that.
Oh,
So-
some of my best memories as growing up, a young teenager, going to some of these 3D shoots around here, Sisney, Moose Lake, and Albion, which we did Mount Carmel all the time.
Yeah.
We would travel around. I mean, man, me and my cousin Ryan, we'd crawl back behind the targets and scavenge unbent Easton arrows. Like, cool, this one's not too bent. It'll fly, and like,
Telling the next group not
Yeah.
to shoot it. Hold on.
hey, and that's another rule I read about the ASA. So if you do X, which for everyone listening doesn't know what an X is, it means you miss completely. You got wind
Yeah.
and you've got some air there and then dirt. You can only retrieve your arrow if everybody agrees upon it. It has to be visible.
Huh.
So you can't be like,
Yeah, you can't go searching for
like,
it.
hang on a
Right,
minute, boys.
right. Taking up time.
Raking
Yeah.
back behind there.
That's right.
It's got to be. Everybody's like, okay, yeah, obviously I can see, Doug's yellow fletchings.
Yeah.
That's your
Yeah.
arrow, right? And so
All right. So
the
let's do
best.
this. On a scale from 1 to 10, where would you rate yourself, Josh?
1 to 10,
Yep.
10 being
10 being you are
The man.
stellar.
Smoke
the
City.
man. I would say that I would put myself as an 8. I would say I have enough confidence as an archer to go, hey man, I'm willing to sling it. I'll throw one out there, knowing that if I do, I might stick it.
Hold on.
Wait a minute. I don't think that was the question.
Well,
I don't know
what just happened?
The mathematics of the whole.
Did I put a spin on that
Yeah.
there?
You might have tweaked it a little.
Well, it sounded really good. It did. It sounded
Not
good.
as good as you think. Not as good as you think. Wes, could you ask him the question again? I don't think he understood. Yeah. Like
So
archery skills.
archery skills.
Yeah.
Skills.
Yeah,
I would
not
say
bravery.
not well, but talking
skills.
sure.
All
Hey
right.
man, listen, to be an archer, I mean, you gotta be ready. Psyched up on the sidelines there, jumping up
I'm
and
not
down.
scared to sit here.
Just loose that
man.
arrow, man, and maybe to find where it's going. I would say an 8. I feel like I'm an 8.
Well, I mean,
So
it
we're
may
still
be,
there, huh?
it
All
may
right.
be
Well,
totally
fair enough.
different.
I've got to
you
take
know,
off my
you
hat.
know it's
man.
good when we start sweating.
It
Yeah.
may be totally different, like, because I have to rate myself
Yeah.
based on what I've done the last 8
2
days.
weeks.
2
Yeah.
weeks, yeah.
Like chew the paper out of the center of a.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
but I
not easy.
don't think I'm going to give myself an 8.
I mean,
Yeah, I know I'm not.
well, maybe I needed just a little more humility.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong.
Now that you
'cause
bring
it-
that
it's in the eye of the beholder.
Well,
maybe.
yeah, it sure is. I'm going, man. If I'm already this good, I can't imagine how good I'll be in 90 days. No,
'Cause I'm beating in-
That's not right.
Oh boy.
I'm beating in shots, and I still got.
Yeah, you're critiquing. You're seeing where you're messing up. You know, I'm trying to learn. I'll pull back a little bit here.
I'm not a.
There's not enough distance. Man. There's not.
I don't know. Go ahead. You're going to stick with an 8?
Well,
Go
no,
for it, man.
not now.
Go ahead,
Not now,
man.
because
Go
I don't
for
want.
it.
I mean, look at me over here. You know, I'm like, I would say
He gets
I-
bit by a spider,
I-
and now he's everything.
you should see me climb the walls.
Yeah.
No, I feel like I'm a good shot. Maybe 8 was a
Oh,
little.
I think you're a good shot.
Maybe it's
I've shot with you.
aspiring. You know, maybe I'm a. How about this?
Very brave.
I'm an aspiring 8.
What
How about a
is
7?
this?
Okay, how about is this what? Was,
I don't. You can call yourself a 10.
well, I know.
I mean,
I'm not
whatever.
A 10. I'm not.
We
a 10.
know that too, but
Yeah,
whatever.
well, that's what
You
I
can
mean.
just-
So, like, some humility would go a long way here because I would say that I'm a 7. I would say I'm a 7. That
Sometimes the day regulates.
Oh,
my
you're
God.
not kidding.
I mean, man, listen, that's what's so cool is you'll go outside, like shooting in this lane is awesome. You got to shoot in the lane and tune everything in tight. And then you got to go out there. And if the wind's ripping 15 mile an hour, man,
It falls apart like a dollar.
oh,
lost,
it
doesn't
either falls
Yeah.
apart or your brain starts doing the math
Yeah.
and you can start sliding them in there.
Yeah,
You can
so-
start
sometimes the
compensating
math
some.
just doesn't work. 'Cause,
No,
I mean, you get
sometimes it
just the
don't.
right day out there, and it's rough.
But
Yeah,
anyway, yeah. So a 7, strong 7.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He can't get away from it. He still thinks it's an 8. This is for show now.
So Lathan, where would you think you fall at? Because amongst the 4 of us, I feel like Lathan's the strongest shooter right now.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Just probably just form
Yeah, but it-
repetition.
Gosh, it may just be because I've shot more. I don't
Sure.
mean, but maybe that's what lends to being better. I know that.
Absolutely.
Well, you're in that realm. I feel like right now you've got an edge on the rest of us.
Mhm.
Now on the back end of this, you might not have, but
yeah, you guys may smoke me.
well, and here's the thing: a lot of guys neglect to realize the mind games that go on.
Yeah.
Because when you get to shooting against guys and they're standing there next to you,
Whispering in your ear.
it changes things.
Like, do you
Like-
feel that?
I mean, here's the deal. It's
I think he's got cam lean. You see his cam
Look
lean?
at that, man. The serving's coming apart.
Look at the torque.
Even I know I have not shot hardly, so it's a good test because I'm virtually untournamented.
Sure.
Can I say it that way? I mean, me and you went to what? I think we went to 2 ASAs.
whenever we were near kids.
Yeah, and we had met Bart Lawhorn from Victory at that time, and he was like, "Man, I'm going to be there. You guys need to come shoot." And he talked us into shooting, and I got pretty serious, man. Had a Bowtech Guardian,
Yeah, it's almost been 20 years.
Wow.
so I
Wow.
went to shooting like crazy and went down there and did pretty good.
Yeah.
Out of we were in the novice, weren't we? Was it novice?
Yeah.
It was known yardage, nothing over 30.
Yeah.
And, I think I got 6th or something out of
That's
like
probably
2.
some stiff competition, though.
There,
Well,
it was,
there
a
was
bunch of
almost
guys.
300 shooters.
Yeah,
out
lined
there,
up. I mean, a 30 pin, that's close enough where
So, I mean, but in that, I was getting ready to say that I remember like when I knew that I was in the game a little bit, walking up to the post to shoot, I remember like all my senses were jiving, like
Yeah.
my heart was beating fast, and I was like, Lathan, where's the ring? And as you pull back, and it's the few times I never let my bow down. Like I'm the type, once it's back, I'm going to shoot
I'm
it.
the same way. I'm like,
But
See,
there was
I-
once or twice I let him down because I'm like, if I miss this 14, and I'm trying to come out of a hole, and I'm realizing I'm climbing back up into maybe the money, because it was a money shoot.
Yeah.
And I remember letting down because I was like, I can't get focused on the 14. And I looked, through my binocs, and I'm
playing the game.
And I'm like, okay, there's the 14, and I reset and shot again. And that's not me. So there is a definite, when you walk in, you'll find out. You ever done it, Doug?
Yeah,
You've shot 3D.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've shot
years
3D.
ago.
Oh yeah.
You've shot a little bit, but have you ever shot in a shoot that's significant, like a money shoot?
No.
No,
And I
none
don't
of
know
us
why.
Just
have
for fun.
really shot in, like I said, for us, it's been 19 years probably.
19 years, and we were shooting bow novice,
Yeah.
which when you say that, all that means is we had to have fixed pins.
Mm-hmm.
The yardage was known, and our stabilizers couldn't be over 10 inches or something like that.
It was a hunting setup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what we used to shoot, was what you call bow hunter class.
Yeah.
And it was unknown yardage.
Huh.
Is the way we would shoot all
Which
the
I
time.
think there
That's
was
why
a
we was
hunter
always looking for
class too
arrows.
in
Yeah.
ASA, and it may have been unknown. But anyhow,
So where would you rate yourself? Scale of 1 to 10.
Just do it.
Just
I'd
all
say
humility
8.
aside.
I would
An
say 8. I would go with 8 probably.
A real 8, not a.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
like, it
all
just
right,
rolls
good,
off his
good.
tongue. Everybody just nods in agreement. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
good.
that's
Well,
about right. Yeah,
I think I have 10.
I'm picking
The
up what
only
you're throwing
the
down.
only reason why I got tickled when you said it was because you said
I
an
built
8
this whole thing.
because maybe I could hit it.
Yeah, I'll just throw it out there. Maybe I'll stick it.
I mean, man, if
That's
you
what
guys,
got me tickled.
I'm
mean,
not
that's-
afraid to send it out there because maybe it'll stick.
yeah, I'll send it, man. I will send it.
Brave
guys-
heart.
Oh, if you want to see me swing through, man, I'm telling you, I'm like, man, that was no skill. That was just pure timing. That was luck.
Well, I think I have 10 days.
you
I think
got
I have days where I'm like, man, today it's 10.
Oh yeah, feels good.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
sure.
on the norm,
here's the deal though.
on the norm, I have, and if you said the last 48 hours, of a 5.
Here's what I want to see
But I'm climbing back out of the 5 today.
on the
Back up
last
about
day.
7.
I watched part of we were stuck.
Here's
on.
what I want to see. If on the day, if we're like, I'm a 10.
Yeah, we're ready.
Because if our mindset changes to where we're like, man, I've never shot better in my life,
Yeah,
we are ready.
yeah.
That's right. And that's what it's going to
And,
take.
and here's the deal. There's a chance that we will go with the mindset of I'm a 10. I'm the best I've ever been. And we can't compete with what they are.
But
It's
you're
not their 10.
Right.
That's right.
Right.
Turn it up to 11.
Yeah.
Their 10's a 12
yeah,
all day long.
Yeah, it's a 12. That's
Yeah.
what it is. It's a 12 and 14.
Because 240, people don't realize 10 would be an even score.
Mhm.
Yeah.
200.
So if you shot 20 targets, you should have 200. And 12s are going up. So if they shot 220,
Yeah.
is that right?
Yeah. 220
Two-
would be shooting 10.
Would be
12s.
unbeatable.
2012s would be 240.
If you shoot
Be perfect
240 or 240 is your
240 is a
40
perfect
targets.
score.
If you shoot 240, you
2
cannot be
times
beat.
12.
That's an unbeatable score.
And the way they
If somebody ties you, then you're in a shoot off. And
That's when you do
somebody's
the
got to
sudden
shoot
death.
for a 14.
and there may be groups of guys that go into a shoot off. That
Yeah.
could happen. And this is what is so, it's what I love about it. We may go down, and that first morning, it may be just dead calm. And first guys may just ring them up. But by 2 o'clock, it might be 98 degrees and blowing 20.
Well, I
hot
know
air.
last year that's the way it was at Metropolis. Everybody I've talked to that was there was like, it was miserable.
rough. And
They
that
said it
He
got
said
evens
it's
the plane.
110
Yeah.
that day.
110 degrees.
That's where
Heat
you're going.
index,
I
yeah.
don't even care that I'm here anymore.
And they were in like,
Let's get this over with.
I'll be in the car. With the
it was
AC on
like
high.
a swamp, and they said
Yeah,
the
it's a-
mosquitoes were tearing them up the
Ugh.
whole time.
So,
See, I'm like, bring that.
is it legal
you
to
know?
bring the thermocell? Because I got one that
I'm
clips
sure.
on.
I
didn't
think
see
there are a
nothing
lot of
about no
guys that have them
thermocells.
on them.
I think
So-
I'm going to. I mean,
I didn't see nothing about
I
that.
like mosquitoes as much as the next guy, but I'm
I
bringing a
inquired
thermostat.
about their course, and so it is 20 targets.
Yeah.
2 sets of 20. You'll shoot the same set that's A and B, and so there'll be like a front and a back. You'll shoot A first, and then you'll shoot B like the next day, or if depending on how many people are there, you could get through it in one day. So you'll shoot the same. It'll be the exact same.
So it's 240 per day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what
So
you'll
2
shoot.
days.
Mhm.
It's 2 days of shooting. And then at the end of that, then there's the shoot down.
Yes.
So at the end of that, they take
Back
the
to
top.
back 20 paces.
They have double targets. So it'll be
Whoever
like,
turns around the fastest
you know,
and draws
say
the
it's a
line.
javelina at this one. Well, there'll be another javelina, you know, on
But-
B. It'll just be positioned differently.
Well, no, at the end of it, they take the top 5 guys and there's a shoot off.
For the winner. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And
That's where we
if you
aspire
guys
to
have-
be.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
So
where
that's-
That's
what
the
we're
path to
doing.
the podium right there.
Yeah.
So, if you guys are just tuning in, what we're talking about this evening is we're on a quest to try and prove that the average guy can at least compete with the pros.
Yeah.
So, we are going down to the Metropolis ASA. We're going to try and shoot against the pros, and it's going to be a wild ride. Periodically, every week or week and a half or so, we're going to put out videos talking about the things that we're working on that week, and talking about what you could do if you wanted to do the same thing.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I hope along this path, there's guys that are encouraged. You know what? I'm going to go down there and shoot that. I might
Yeah.
not shoot against the pros, but I'm going to go down there and try it out.
Yeah.
Or
So-
even some guys that have some 3D stuff that they're working on around here, reach out and
That's
say, hey,
right.
man, this is what we're doing. We're trying to get some guys together because boots on the ground, man. This is what it's all about.
That's
This
right.
is-
So,
I'm an 8.
yes.
Doug, where would you?
I was an 8.
What,
You know, you might not have been, but whatever. Like whatever.
Well,
So
in my
we are
heart of
all-
hearts.
we're all going around the table, telling where we would rate ourselves, seeing if on the back end of this, if we feel like we've progressed. Obviously, we're going to progress some.
Sure.
So Josh ended up prematurely giving himself an 8, and then gave
Humility.
himself
Some-
a 7.
Some humility.
He took the seat at the front.
Lathan has called himself an 8. And Doug, where would you consider yourself?
All right. Well, important to be really honest with yourself here. My current state, having pulled my bow all apart the last 2 days and re-rigged it several times.
No,
Oh,
no,
man.
we're not going based on the bow. We're going
Well,
based on the
on
shooter.
your skill level.
I'm
What-
saying,
Well, that's where I said I was an 8,
right,
but in the last 48 hours, I dipped to probably 5.
right. You know, confidence is
Because I tore my
It's
bow
game.
apart, switched bows. Yes, I've had
right.
done a lot.
Yeah.
But,
Yes.
So 8 is where
Right.
I probably was setting when I started, maybe,
Right.
with this new bow.
You're shooting some nice groups.
Huh.
Oh, for
So-
sure. I'm thinking somewhere hovering around a 7. I know I have
Yeah, right.
the. Did you- where did he come? Who invited this
West
guy?
Salem.
Oh,
What do you always say? That's why I sound
That's
like
why
I
it
do.
sounds funny.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
We
my.
just tell it like it is over there.
I don't know. I don't even know what to
Oh, man.
think. So, no, I'm just saying no.
But seriously, I would agree.
Well,
Oh,
right
yeah.
now, I know I have the skill to do it. Right now, the way my bow is sort of in its state of discombobulation with all the gadgets and changing out everything. There's not hardly anything on it that was on it 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Everything's been switched around. Right now, going into that target, there isn't a ton of confidence just because there's so much of it that I'm still just getting a feel for, but somewhere around a 7 and needing to work on steadying off and getting good, clean releases.
Yes, that's the key.
Because,
right there.
I have a tendency, to punch that trigger a little bit, and I need to, calm down and pull through it and get some clean releases and work on that. And there's still some changes coming to the bow. There's some things we ordered this week. And there's lots of things still
I'm
happening.
not there. I'm more than anything just getting reps in.
Yeah.
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 I
Which
mean,
is
I'm trying to
important.
shoot as good as I can.
Right.
I've got, like, when I'm in the lane, we have a 20-yard lane. So when I'm in that, I know I'm shooting 20 yards. I can't practice my longer range stuff. So my mind is, it better not be out of this certain thing.
Dead
And if
center.
it is out of what I'm calling my allowance at 20 yards, then I'm frustrated a little bit because I'm like, why isn't it? So
The X factor.
but going with what you said, there's so many things that's going to change in the days ahead.
Right.
I got to put
And-
new strings on.
Right.
I really think, it really makes, you was talking today how fun it is because it makes you just analyze everything.
Yes.
It really
That's
does.
right.
I mean, you're analyzing everything. I'm in there now thinking, well, I switched releases today.
Oh,
Yeah.
it totally changed the game.
Total style.
And I
of
like it.
release. Yeah.
I like it. And I'm like, but now I'm thinking my peep
Mhm.
sight, which is your rear sight,
Yes.
could be
Higher, you think?
just a quarter inch, maybe not even a quarter higher,
Sure.
so
Settle in just
Yeah,
right. the
Because
way
so-
it
you
feels,
want
yeah.
that.
So my heart or my way of thinking is I'm hoping in the next week I have that stuff ironed out. By this time next week, hopefully I'm like, now it's time. Cause I ain't even messed with sight tapes. I ain't
Right.
messed with nothing
Right.
because I know there's still so much to change.
So do we give ourselves kind of a group deadline on getting our equipment set up and being ready to then settle down into the actual?
I would say you need to be
fine-tuning?
expediting that process.
Like by the end of next week, we need to be.
I think you need to, but at the same time, I think the last week you'll still be like,
I think so.
You're gonna be
too.
making-
changes.
We're
I
all
think
going to be
so,
standing
too.
out there clicking windage.
But those
on our
changes,
sites.
will be out like tweaking
Minor.
windage.
Yeah.
and minor adjustments, not complete overhauls, hopefully.
Right. Like,
Once you-
I'm fixing to tear that bow completely apart.
Once you tune it and once you break that string in, because I noticed like when I got that lift and I shot it, everything was just crazy right for a minute. And we
Yep.
stood out there that day and we probably did close to, I'd say that was 200 shots.
Yeah.
All day long. Walked that string right in there, man. My peep quit moving and it just walked it into the sight. And it was like, okay, now my bow. And then we did a little tuning and I'm like, all right, this thing is performing the way it should perform. Like this is my foundation, right? Like,
Mhm.
it's
Are you running the zebras still?
no, they're the match. And
Okay.
man, they settled. My peeps settled quick,
Okay.
very quickly, which you did have to do. We did a little tweaking. We put
Yeah,
a
but-
twist in it.
And here's the thing: if you're going to knock a bunch of shots out, you
Oh,
need to.
thousands.
It's like checking your oil every couple of days.
Yeah.
I would see
run
where
it
your
through some paper.
I would see where
Yeah.
your bow's setting, spec and
Right.
even paper. And I got today shooting through paper, just to see how many times every so often I get a tear.
Right.
That's a lot of releasing
Yeah,
issues.
that's what I mean.
That's it.
A
I was
big
like,
part
did
of
I
that,
shoot
too.
10 shots through paper and shot bullet holes? And then every once in a while you get that little lefty.
Right.
And you're like, that was me.
Yeah,
I wasn't
that's
arrow.
right.
I've already
That's
proved
right.
the bow's tuned. The arrows are tuned good because I'm shooting bullet holes with
Mhm.
them from 6 foot to 14 foot.
Yeah, it's not
Right.
the
12
arrow.
foot.
It's not the rest.
It's when every once in a while I get a left tear.
You're out of form.
And it's when I did something in my
Right.
mechanics, I guess.
When you and I were here on the day of the eclipse, man, wasn't that cool?
Yeah.
But like
We call that Monday.
struggled. Well, normal people would, but
Me and Josh shot arrows at it.
we did.
How'd that go?
They never
No.
came back down.
Any
They never
solar
came back
flares?
down. We don't know where they went.
Yeah, all
we
right,
did.
They're
We
somewhere.
did. The
When's
arrow
the
comes
nail
out
come
next
out?
week.
Yeah. Check Daughter's building.
It was a struggle. It was a struggle. I had a new release. My sight wasn't put in correctly. It wasn't adjusted, and so I was having to compensate. There was some wind, and I struggled, and I just like finally walked away. And Lathan kept pushing, And he finally got a good hold on the bow, what he needed to do, and start really centering up. And I was super inconsistent, and I was just like, I just had to walk away. And I went home. On my little range I have there, I'm about to 80 right now. I'm going to make some adjustments so I can get at least 110, because I like to shoot the really long range too, because there's just something about shooting that really long range. It's like when you can train your eye to do that, anything within there, man, it really makes things
yeah, if you can shoot a group
at 100.
80 and 100.
Oh yeah, it makes the
Yeah.
target a lot bigger.
Yeah.
To me. But I went home, and within 15, 20 minutes, I'd relaxed, I regrouped, I seen what I was doing. Most of it was just my release, and I worked on it, on my execution, on my trigger, and it just, everything went like that. And I felt really good about things.
Yeah,
So,
and then Jessie told me, she said, how come Josh was out there sticking his arrows in his
was
target and
not
taking
either.
pictures?
Hey, and I sent you
Now
that
you're
picture,
talking.
and I wanted to let you know, because
I'm
I
just
know
teasing
how
you.
precious those arrows are. I did not aim at my nock. I aimed just to the right, and that is where
Yeah.
it went. So
He sent me pictures of his good groups once he
they
got
were
home.
perfectly
Oh,
it's
my.
as good as a 2-arrow group could look. So,
It was a solid
So
8.
we rein back in. We're 7, 7, 8.
7,
7, 8.
7, 8. I'm calling myself a 6.5.
oh, Wes, you're selling yourself so short, bro.
Well, here's the thing. I think there's so many aspects of this that I'm weak on. Like the range finding for one. Like,
We
Well,
can
I didn't
all-
even contribute that.
Yeah, we can all probably.
but
That's probably
but to
gonna be
me,
a-
that's gonna be a
thorn.
major part
Yeah,
of
well,
this.
pull me
It's a
back
big
down to
part of it.
6.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like, well, probably gonna X 1 or 2 of them.
There's
Hoping
a
for
3.
5, you know.
Well, here's the thing. I would say the average guy, let's say average is 5.
Sure.
I feel like I'm better than average, but
Now I'm questioning everything. What's the 1 to 10 scale? And I don't want to overthink it, but the 1 to 10 scale that we're rating ourselves on is rated upon what?
The ability to execute the shot.
Groups.
I think there's all sorts of things that could fall into it.
But at the end of the day, it's putting the tip of that arrow in the X on that target.
It is.
Yeah, but I have only shot known,
That's the thing.
Right.
and I've only shot known for 20 years.
But you have
And
shot
for
so
those
much
guys
unknown
that
in the
are
woods.
and the guys that are listening right now, when we go into this, we are not going to know anything about what that range is.
No.
When we step onto it, we're not going to know whether that animal is 50 yards, whether it's 47, whether it's 45.
I'm going to be basking myself in some heavy prayer and asking the Lord for some really good discernment that day. Let the gifts flow, Father.
What I'm doing is I'm jotting down some things that I feel like these are things that we need to focus on.
Sure.
So lens and clarifiers to me is
awesome.
going to play a part.
Yeah.
Big time.
Where do we want to fall in that? There's all the way from 2 power, 4 power, 6, 8, 10, like where you want to fall in that scale.
What's the limit on?
There's no
no
limit.
No limit.
No limit.
Well, then we need an assortment, and you
We
have
do.
to mess with them, because I'm running a 4 right now, and I'm
What do you
just
think of it?
itching. I'm just itching to try a 6.
See, and then also there's some others that make a 5 too. There
Yeah,
is
Their
that's what you said.
CBE makes
it's
a
a good 5,
Yeah.
and CB's they got these new Elevate lenses too, and obviously
So you just got your lens and clarifier
I-
set up just minutes before we
just
started.
got
I was
clarifier.
just punching shots.
So-
That's why I walked in on the set late. Basically,
What is your first thought then on how that all feels and looks right now?
There's things about it that I'm not crazy about so far.
sure.
Okay.
So
Because
for-
I've been shooting without a clarifier.
For
So-
the guys that are listening, if you guys have any questions relating to what we're talking about, let us know, because there are things about this that it's like you're not going to have any ideas on.
Right.
So if you're shooting a lens, you have to have a clarifier because
You need one.
yeah,
It's just
because
blurry.
it's going to be blurry
Depending on the
otherwise.
power of the lens. It's the thing is I've not shot a lens. I've shot a lens off and on for years. I even hunted with them, you know, and they have their drawbacks. You can learn to do it, but I have noticed within you step inside a certain mark, man, you start coming inside that 20 mark, getting in there. You can get, imagine having an 8-power
yeah,
lens
but
back
I
there.
I just shot 5 yards in there with
Right.
the clarifier on. It's
it was
crystal.
still, was it really?
It's crystal.
Yeah.
So, but imagine
Like if
an
there was a
8-power.
deer standing at
Oh, you it's like its
5
shoulder
yards,
was
I
the-
could I could pick out hairs to shoot at
Wow.
on him.
So
Yeah.
that's working good.
But now and of course this could be the difference in setups, and you got to mess with, it's
your rear front.
it's mind boggling
Well, yeah,
because now you're thinking about your pin size.
well,
Yeah.
the farther away you push your sight,
Your
So-
your clarifier is a little bitty lens inside your peep sight.
that you have to keep clean.
So let me
Here.
run through this list real quick
Do it.
because, and there may be things that you guys are like, hey, you need to add this to it. So I've got lens and clarifiers as one thing that we've got to make a decision on what we want there. Weight is another thing. Weight is another thing because weight, what are we going to fall on that?
You're
do
talking
you
draw weight or
Draw
arrow?
weight, draw weight. And then arrow weight is a player in that because ultimately we've got to figure out where we want to be on speed.
Well,
So
you want to be
ASA says
yeah.
290 is where you can be plus or minus 3%.
Well, I think we should push that envelope then.
Well, and that's how hard do you push that?
Right.
You just push it. Like just a little tension on it.
So I guess that's my question. Does a guy want to be at 295? Like 299 is the limit. So that being the case, how close do you want to be?
I think we need to be just as close. If we can just edge out that 290 mark. And honestly, some of this is going to go out there to the bag. And what is 5 feet per second going to translate on your drop?
And see,
Not very much.
not a lot. Not
But
a
with some
lot.
wind blowing, it would.
so here's the next thing I've got, let off. Because all these things is basically an equation that we've got to figure out to make sure our speed is where we need it to be.
But this is something that's going to be Pacific per archer because I'm telling you guys, I'm going to sit and hold my 85. That's just what I've shot for so long.
Oh, I think you're messing up.
I may be.
Once again.
Well, listen, I'm definitely open to learn. This is a new path, man.
For real?
Yeah, I'm very teachable. I
But
may not.
You
look
are
like-
turning some corners. This is awesome.
So
you know,
Bill McCall told me that most guys are wanting to be between 75 and 70%. Now, that being the case,
it's going to keep speeding me up though, and eventually I'm going to have to turn my limbs. I'm going to have to pull,
no, you come down and wait.
just shoot a 65.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you,
And
you
shave.
shave some weight.
And
Or-
it saves your arm.
Yeah, because
Like you
'Cause
want
it is-
you
I
want
was-
good back tension, but you also want to make sure that your speed is right. So
personally for myself, because I play this game, you guys have sold me 3 bows in a matter of no time.
Good job.
And I've, oh yeah,
Good
a couple of
job.
them twice.
Oh, yeah.
But
every time I come up with a project, Josh is like, I'm in.
Yeah.
New bow.
take the blessing, take it. I find myself getting frustrated sometimes because I'm an all-in guy. I'm like, look, there's the water. Let's
Yeah.
see how deep it is, man. Jump in, right?
Yeah.
And we'll do it. And with that, I'm tearing down my setup, new setup, like that phase 4. I just shot that thing where the strings just started to fray, and it was like perfect. I was just chewing the center up, feeling extremely comfortable with it. And I'm like, okay, another one. Start all over again, different
Yeah.
fill. And so I just want to get myself to a place because I know if I put different let off on there, I'm going to have to learn to shoot that.
You are, but for
That's
this
part of it.
purpose,
I know. I just need to. I shot some 80s. They rolled in nice. They will draw better for sure.
they'll draw better, but they'll be more lungy.
I know. And that's what I didn't like. I didn't like the fact that it was like, whoa, girl.
But the thing is, that's what you want it to be. You want to pull all the way through that shot because pulling through
It's
that
gonna
shot
steady the
will
shot.
steady it. Yeah.
This is 101 stuff. For an 8 should have already forgotten more of this than most
It's
people
just
know.
muscle memory now. I just, like my wife says, I'm like, good shot, Jesse. She's like, and Jesse, hope you're watching. I love you, dear. She is such a skilled archer, and she has no idea how good she is. Which those are some of the best. She's
You
like,
ought
"Oh,
to take her down with us and let her.
she
shoot the
would
women's."
school, man.
Yeah.
Like you can't even sight her in. I'm like, did you aim at that? She's like, no, I just compensated. I'm like, aim at the target so I can set your sight. She's like, oh, okay. I'm like, that was a good shot. She's like, yeah, all I did was put the pin on there and pull the trigger. I'm like,
Oh,
we would shoot
wow.
for dishes and yeah,
Um,
house chores. Yeah. And any day she would like proposition me to go shoot, I'd be like, nah, it was on my terms.
We are learning.
Anyway,
so another thing I've got down is stabilization. I feel like that's something
Big
that we're
deal.
going to have to iron out.
Yeah.
Um,
and that's going to be different for guys too.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, no
with
doubt.
with that, the arrow setup, and arrow setup is going to be not only the length of the arrow, the weight of the arrow.
What kind of arrows are we shooting there, Wes?
We're shooting Black Eagle arrows. Black Eagle is sponsoring this along with Matthews. So we're pretty excited that we've got both of those companies on board helping us out with this process. So, and for stabilization, we're using Conquest stabilizers. So those three
smack wrap.
companies have said, yep, we want to be on board with what you're doing. So Matthews, Black Eagle, and Conquest.
Really impressed so far too. The stabilizers, you don't, a hunter, you put it together, it works, you use it, you kill deer, whatever. A little bit different requirement here
Oh,
in
yeah.
so many regards. But the stabilization change here the last few days, and I'm really impressed. These arrows are flying
Oh,
great.
they are.
Oh, they're like
the
darts.
best
I
arrows
mean,
I've ever shot.
really, really good. Really impressed. I really like some of the changes that we're making.
They're Dan McCarthy arrows.
That's probably
So-
why they're so good.
And so we're going to go down and shoot against Dan McCarthy
With his own
arrows.
arrows.
with his own arrows.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
I think he'll
there's
be shooting 23s. I bet he'll be shooting
27s.
27s or something.
no, 26s are still his. I don't think the
26s.
27s
the
are.
logs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
power poles.
Put that plank in your eye.
I hope to keep it out of my eye.
No doubt. That's
I
what
prefer
we're
that.
aspiring to
What
do.
else? We got bars.
Rules to me is a big part.
Oh, yes. There's a ton of them, man.
Rules without relationship equal rebellion.
I'm hoping to keep one another accountable.
I'm not really sure how to.
That's where the accountability comes in there. That's the relationship aspect.
I'm
of it.
saying they should let me do what I want when I get there.
And the next thing is targets, because for the average guy coming into this, knowing your targets is major.
Yeah,
yeah.
those guys they got them memorized.
Oh, yeah,
And
They know in that crease behind
Right.
that dot.
absolutely.
If it's a fallow deer, it's got a white dot or something on it. There's like the third white dot down. There's the 12 ring, and they know how to hold, because when you're at 40 plus, you're not going to see those rings.
with an 8-power scope, you will.
Right? You think
You-
so?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
You will.
to
I
some
don't know.
degree,
It
but
depends on how
Lighting,
the lights come.
yeah.
in.
Right.
People have
exactly.
come in before you and they've already put it. Now, if you're first draw, you're going to be those are virgin targets.
That's
Right.
true.
Yeah.
You will see
There'll
spots
be
where
Yeah.
they'll be
Yeah.
marred
And I
up.
remember shooting when we shot. I remember being like, I can see where somebody's pounded the 12 here,
Yep.
and the 12's kind of got a
Right.
dark spot in it where
Right.
it's been
And-
chewed. So because they allow you to look at the targets with binoculars.
Right.
Yeah.
One of the rules I seen is the first shooter has like a minute 30, and you can bust out your binos and check everything out, and then after that, it's a minute,
Oh, okay.
and you cannot. I guess quote me here, but
we'll
you
believe
can, yeah, you
Doug's-
cannot
Doug's keeping
after
you pretty-
after you shoot. Yeah, I'm just going to be like this whole critique.
Oh,
Next thing, he was wrong there.
I was just looking for you to be
False.
right once. Go
I
ahead.
feel like I
Still waiting.
hold a
Still
little
waiting.
around here. But after you shoot, for time's sake, you can't bust out the binos and check it out. Your shot.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I read
yeah, that was a thing.
Yep,
Yeah, and
yep.
so and I thought I seen on the wall out here for sale at Ultra. Didn't you have some ASA target cards?
We do.
yes. So
Yeah.
guys need
Which is the targets, and it shows you where the rings are.
we'll all need
Does.
one of those in our official ASA.
Do the pros use them?
oh yeah,
They do.
yes, they do.
Yeah.
They will
Here's the
bust
deal.
them out.
I've done a little bit of video work on
Oh, yeah.
these and watched guys go through and shoot, and what they have on them is basically a tool belt.
Yeah, they got.
Like
They
on
got some
their
stuff.
hip quiver is full of stuff
Mhm.
to make sure that they've got what they need should anything go down.
And there's if you have say you have some serving come apart or you derail something, they'll give you 30 minutes. to
Yeah,
go.
you
Now,
do
if it-
have time.
And if it happens again, though,
No, the one time they give you, I believe
Yeah.
that's what I read. One repair or one,
Your group will move on. You will
Right.
come back and be able to play catch up.
right.
Huh.
So they're working with you. They're wanting you to succeed. They,
You're going to have to work on the sky draw because that's clearly off limits. So you really got to work on
yeah,
that.
I will try.
That's a rule, right?
It is.
Oh yeah,
It
they'll
is.
ask you to come turn your bow down if you're getting a little
Yep.
crazy. If you're
Yep.
like,
Do that again. Yeah, there you go. Oh, yeah.
back and you're wiggling in, they're probably like, hey, buddy,
Here's the deal: if after 20 shots you're wiggling it in, you suck.
yeah, that's another thing, man. I
Uh,
mean, we probably need to honestly be doing a little bit of weight training too. I would think. I seen you send a video in the
you
group.
want me to write that down?
I would think so. I mean,
Weight-
physical fitness is is
training.
Weight gaining.
yes, gains, total
Hey,
gains,
all
Total
right.
misinterpretation.
But I like where you're going.
total gains. Oh yeah.
I can't miss today. I don't want to lose all my games.
I mean, it's going
So-
to age you. I mean, we're working muscle groups that as bow hunters,
Yeah.
that we're not used to working. This is a different thing,
It is a little different.
Yeah.
It's even different than bow hunting muscles.
Oh, big.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, because the bow is weighted different.
You're killing me.
I
with
got some
that.
space going over here,
Do
man.
we need to take that away from you? I mean,
this is what actually the target. That's
It's well, I called you because I just for giggles I grabbed a tournament rig,
Yeah, target setup.
and it was basically already set up. I just let it out to my draw length and started messing with it, shooting it, and I was like, it's different. It's the bow itself is way heavier
That's big.
because like in the hunting world we're trying to shave weight,
right.
and in the archery world or the 3D world they're adding weight to their bow.
Yeah.
With bigger bars and you've got actual weights
Mhm.
systems. You can take some, add some, because you're trying to find that sweet spot. And when you get the bow to the right weight that you can handle, I'm talking not draw weight, physical weight of the bow, your pin quits being so fluttery.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It
You
steadies
know,
off quicker.
Yeah, you're I mean, no one holds a pin perfect.
Oh no, it's going to move.
I mean, it moves. The guy that wins generally probably holds it more perfect than the others.
Or he's
But-
at least pushing the trigger when it's not
Right.
moving,
But
Right.
when I've noticed, and like today I started nailing it. I could tell I was like, I'm all over the place with
Right.
this bow. And I switched the bars, I switched some weight, I moved some more weight to the back, and
Mhm.
just a few little movements, and all of a sudden now my pin is very subtle
Yes.
in its movement
Yes.
instead of like jittery in its
Right.
movement.
So
And you're not
I'm
looking for
excited to
that
have
in-
some of these guys on to talk about that
Yeah.
and to talk about where we should be in regards to that.
Now, my friend Jacob, I don't know if he texted or anything, but we were talking on the way here, and I was asking him. He was going to get some measurements and text me, but I think we're going to miss out on that opportunity. But he did tell me. So I was asking him, I was like, "Where are you weighted, Jacob?" And he does a lot of Vegas shoots. He does lots of 3D stuff. He's just a natural. Jacob Mays, if you're listening, buddy, God-given talent there.
Give him a shout
Good
out.
guy. Good guy. He told me that he really likes to wait. He's at 12 inches is where he's at on his stabilizer, because some of the 3D courses he shoots, there are some requirements. It's not open.
Well, ASA right now and IBO have gotten rid of, according to Bill, I talked to him earlier. He said they've gotten rid of stabilizer limits.
Nice.
Okay.
in
So that
ASA.
opens it up.
Good.
Yeah, long as you want.
He weighted his heavy to the back to where it just would barely dip forward.
Yeah.
And he would release, but it wasn't to the point to where it was just, because if you like the trick is, and this is my own thinking, and this is what I'm observing, if you balance, you take a pendulum, right, and you hang it, it's just hanging in that one spot. It's in perfect, oh man, got to quit doing that, man.
I'm starting to like it.
It's in perfect balance, right?
Yeah.
So, but all it takes is something to come along to throw that out of balance.
Yeah.
So if you have something that you need to hold in tension, you're going to build a muscle group that's going to hold that thing there. It's not going to be so easily swayed by the wind.
Yeah.
Right.
I was thinking today, I was like, have I shot the heavier rig long enough? Because I did change bars. I was like, oh, it looks better. But then I thought,
That
well,
you're starting to build that upper shoulder
yeah,
muscle.
because I came over.
That's the gains.
We came Monday after the eclipse, and we shot for a little. Didn't get to shoot very long because I
Probably-
let time get away from us.
Well, we probably, yeah, because we had a tune. We did
And
some
then I
tuning and
came back
stuff.
Tuesday. I came back Tuesday and shot for like almost 3 hours.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, well, maybe I've just shot the heavier setup that muscle that
Right.
is
Finally
getting more,
working,
and it
yeah.
probably is getting a little more developed. And
Yeah.
and you know, it's like when you go to something heavy that you're not used to, and you know how you see people shaking.
Yeah.
Well, that translates to your pen.
Oh,
does.
man.
All of a sudden, it's like
Yeah.
that bow's heavier,
Right.
and my pen was like
Well, and there's
seasoned out
there's
there.
a point to where like you start off, you're rock steady, and 15 shots in, you start
Oh,
quivering.
it changes.
I wanted
Yeah.
to go here because there were
Yeah.
some thoughts, because we all stood out there that one day and we just racked them.
Yeah.
You know, we fatigued ourselves. We sat down, went back out, fatigued ourselves again. But if you notice what happened at the end of that second session, we pushed through the initial burn
Yeah.
and we settled in.
Yeah, we
And
did.
we- and we
On
s-
the back end, we were
and
shooting,
we were shooting
better than we were in the
good.
middle.
We were shooting good. Muscles were burning, but everything was like, really, it was like,
Yeah. We also went into 10 yards, but
no, but still, well, but listen, what I'm saying is like the fatigue wasn't there anymore. It was just like, this is
Yeah.
what you do. It
Yeah.
I
felt
think you
good.
can shoot past that. I've heard people
Yeah.
talk a lot about, oh, you know, I don't want to shoot much more than 10 or 15 shots. I'm like, that makes no sense
You
to
need to
me.
warm up,
It's like, I
man.
want to
Yeah.
shoot 500 shots a day if I had time,
yeah.
because, and I want them to be good shots.
So
But
speaking
also
of
the
that,
whole time I'm shooting, I'm thinking, I'm drawing this bow so much.
Mhm.
Right.
I'm holding it out in front of me so much that it's like, you know, as a carpenter and swung a hammer, it's like when I first started swinging a hammer, I was like, how in the world are those guys' arms not falling off?
Oh yeah,
Right.
You know, but
After a while.
and after about 2 months,
smashing nails in one.
I just,
Yeah.
you know, I just swing and swing, and my arm
Mhm.
virtually never got tired.
Yeah, you work that muscle.
Right. So it's got to be the same way shooting the bow.
I notice that all the time. I've been, ever since that day, it really like opened me up to like, hey man, it's a deep spot up here between my ears that goes.
There
For
sure
real.
is.
Well, it is, man. I mean, you have to look for it maybe, but it was like
you
once-
and Doug are gonna have to hug after this.
once my
It's
muscles,
a cavernous ravine.
once my muscles got that blood pumping through them and got to doing what they knew to do, I find myself lately in the evenings, I'd go out and shoot, and I would find myself towards the end of my session shooting way better than I was towards the front part.
I
of
think
it.
there's a warm up too. That's why I bet
Yeah.
no pro is going to go down there and shoot
No.
a cold shot.
They're not jumping out of the truck going,
so
and they're going to hit the bag a few times.
again, to help the guys that are watching, how many arrows do you think you're shooting right now a week?
Oh, this week was a little different.
It was for you, but
Yeah.
just
On average,
on average.
I would say that I'm doing at least 50 to 60 shots per sesh, and I'm trying to work at least 3 or 4 of them in a week. I feel like I need to do more than that. I really, if I could, would want to be doing this every night. Some of the weather's not been good.
So you're saying a
yeah,
week?
200 shots.
Well, how
a
many
week.
did you shoot today? Let's just use that as
I
a
shot
gauge.
no shots today.
Oh,
No
right.
shots today.
Cut him some slack, Doug.
No doubt. Spider-Man over here.
Yeah.
Hey, you're
Yeah.
doing good.
yeah, I feel great.
Do you feel like that?
Man
only
woke
knew.
up in the night and thought he had a kitty cat and realized it was a spider
Oh,
biting him on
gosh,
the
you don't
nose.
even
Whose
know.
cat is that?
Hey, is there
It's
any
a
chance it
spider
was
with biceps.
radioactive and you'll
I
have
don't-
special powers? or
Well,
no?
obviously it was packing something because
Okay.
it smoked me, man. That was
So 200 shots a week.
yeah, which is way low, I think.
What are you shooting?
Man, I don't keep track, but I would like to think 1,000.
I
Man,
bet you're shooting more than that.
that's a bunch.
I'm around 1,000 shots a week, and I don't even shoot Monday. Generally, I don't shoot Monday, Tuesday much, but I came over this week. I know I'm over 1,000 this week.
Well,
I bet I've shot 300 today.
For the guy that's listening, just so they know, Lathan picked a brand new bow off the rack
Mm-hmm.
just last week.
I did 2 weeks ago.
And Lathan's string, we ordered a string for him today.
It's already frayed.
No, it's not frayed.
It's stretch the bow
It's
3/8
Oh,
inch.
out of spec already.
Yeah.
Really?
3/8 long. Yeah.
Broke it in.
So he's punching in a lot of shots.
What kind of string did you go with?
threads?
Did you?
Yeah.
And you're
The
happy.
only real choice.
You're happy with those, aren't you? Those seem to be.
Threads are fantastic.
They're
Their
awesome.
collars
I
are
love them.
awesome, aren't they?
Yeah.
I've
They're just a
seen that.
good company too. They're good
Good
product,
guys.
obviously, but
There's no denying how good they are on Machine Extreme because it hasn't grown over an eighth,
And that thing will stretch it.
and it's got to have 2,000 shots on it.
at over 80 pounds.
80 pounds, shooting 300 plus all
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome. That's a
good
testament.
strings,
That's a
good strings.
testament.
But going with the electric blue,
Are you?
I'm going to take everybody down to electric blue.
I've
Avenue.
already.
What
Like,
did we
my-
do?
Take them to
I'm already looking at
Electric
this. I'm
Avenue.
going, man, if we're target shooters, I'm thinking I'd like to throw, because I'm thinking when I hunt, anybody that hunts with me long enough is like, man, why are you so paranoid? I'm like, I'm not, I'm just hunting. I'm like, I don't like to hang out by the road. I don't be like, I don't like bright fletchings in the woods. I just
Yeah.
stealth mode.
Tell us more.
No, you won't. Well, you can look, but you won't see. But anyway, and so this is a different game. And I'm looking at some of these flow yellow strings and on some
Man,
bright,
those orange ones are nice. In
bright
there.
collars, and the grips and just getting in the whole vibe of the thing.
I'm still on an element of incognito though.
You're like that too, aren't you?
I kind of want to show up with my bow looking all jank.
You're halfway there, buddy.
Just bring some of that.
Yeah, where is it?
Bring
I've got
You
3 or
need to-
4 different kinds of stabilizers on it.
bring some of your fletching wrap for your sight and throw that on there. That'll definitely
I
send
just
a
want to
message.
show up and somebody be like, "What in the world?"
This guy.
And then go, "Thump, thump, thump." And I go, "Oh, what in the world?"
Because that's the
What
sound.
just happened?
That's the
Yeah.
sound of a 12 ring. If
Yeah.
anybody was wondering out there, that's what a 12 ring sound. There's a Pacific.
It's like
Beat.
the rat rod of the,
Yes,
the
right.
sleeper, the guy that's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"I'm putting mufflers on my car just to mess with you,"
Mhm.
like in the drag racing world.
Yeah.
Because it don't pull up and it ain't going
Yeah.
because he's got mufflers on it.
Yeah.
But when he turns it loose, you're like, "What just happened?" 'Cause
Yeah,
I
like
just
his
heard
license
air
plate
moving.
say.
He gone.
He's gone.
License plate say faster than you.
As it turns out. So what we order? 3 strings the last couple
We
days?
ordered 3 strings. Yeah.
So
Man, I'm gonna have to get on that.
Leroy's
I'm gonna have
got
to get on
some
that
coming.
boat.
Now yours, you're gonna run with what you've got.
I'm gonna at least see how long they
I'm
hold
gonna.
out.
I'm wanting to.
Like I'm trying to push them because
your match.
I'm shooting match strings
Right.
with the Matthews lift, and
Are you feeling like they are doing better for you than the standard zebras?
they're definitely
Yeah,
better.
they
Okay.
settled very
All right.
quickly.
Yeah. So I'm wanting to see the life
Mhm.
cycle of the string. So,
Matthew's had some pretty good.
So how many
video on
shots?
that.
How many shots daily do you think a guy should get in, and how many do you think a pro generally does get in?
that's a good question to ask. I'd like to
Because
know-
are some of them guys like, I don't shoot that much. that's good.
I'm just
Right.
really skilled.
Right.
Or is it because they shoot 1,000 plus
Right.
shots a week,
Right.
Or they
or
shot
2,000?
They shot
shots?
2,000 in their 20s, and they're just so.
I don't
I mean,
know.
I would think that if we're not worked into 100 shots a day or more,
Yeah, that's
we're,
where I'm
we're
at, too.
probably
I feel like
failing.
that.
We're probably not going to reach the potential we need to. I think.
what
that
are
even
you
just-
shooting a day, Doug?
Right now, not that much. I mean, with all that's kind of been going on with changing stuff up and whatever, probably
Yeah.
50 or less.
What do you aspire
day,
though? What do you
you
think
know,
you're going to aspire?
I mean, it needs to be over 100.
So
mean-
you feel like you're around 350 a week?
Yeah. I mean, somewhere in that
we're
neighborhood.
probably right there in the same
Yeah.
right now.
And
Do you
know,
think that, because you hear this in the hunting world, people talk about, well, I went out and shot, like I said earlier, and I shot 30, 40 shots and it started falling apart. So I quit.
Yeah.
Now in this realm, when it falls apart, should you shoot till you come out of it?
I think you should take a
Well,
break. And
Because what if
recenter.
you fall apart
Right.
in the middle of a match and you're like, I shot 2 8s?
That's where you
They
take
ain't gonna
your,
let you sit down.
well, they will, because you'll have your little chair there if you're really part of the group. So you'll have your little folding chair.
No, I mean they
No.
ain't gonna let you sit out and be like,
No, that's
oh, you can come back. In
no.
30
This is
minutes
where
and
you're going to
finish
have
the
to
match.
dig
That's
deep,
what I mean.
and you're going to have to focus.
So
and
when
you're
you
gonna
fall
go,
apart in your daily shooting,
If you're falling apart at 30 shots, you haven't shot enough.
yeah, it's mental.
I mean, for sure. And that's why I say 100 plus shots minimum
Yeah,
a day would probably be, and these are just, I'm just throwing these numbers out, but I'm
Right.
thinking because you need to be able to do 20 with no fatigue.
just to warm up.
Well, I'm just saying there's 20 targets
Yeah.
per day. You need to be able to do those 20 with no fatigue. You need to go through it. You need to end the way you began. I mean, and the only way you're going to do that is shooting a lot more than that per day.
And that's why I like a lot of times I'll shoot at least 6 sets of 6 or 10s. I do sets of 10s. I like to shoot,
Mhm.
you know, and try not to crowd my arrows anymore. I'll try to space some things out, you know, pick spots on the target.
Yep.
And that way, but I do feel like, man, it takes several shots I could really feel the blood starting to move through me, you know, and those first few shots are good, but
guy has to get off the dots too.
oh yeah.
Like I made myself Tuesday, I made myself shoot that deer because I'm like, all I'm shooting is dots.
Right.
I gotta, because your mind's like, now that there's not a dot there, I'm like, you
Yeah,
know,
Yeah.
you're just like, well, just pull the trigger here.
Right. The
You
aim small,
can't-
miss small things is harder
Yeah,
to come by
it's
when there's a
harder to
whole
come
big target.
by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have, I mean,
Some of that's instinctive though too.
dots are,
For a guy like you, obviously.
yeah.
Well, you are amongst
Yeah.
the caliber of men.
I understand.
so
Look around.
dots,
I'm trying to process that. All right.
shooting dots are crucial.
Oh yeah, in
I
this
think.
game.
Yes.
Crucial to getting fine tuning yourself, fine tuning your bow. Because if you can't go in there and at 20 yards and hit, you know, nickel dots,
You don't need to be shooting pro.
you
That
know,
ain't gonna happen.
I'm not saying every time, but if you're staying around
Mhm.
that nickel X ring,
You need to be in the
that's
light.
shooting a dot. But then you have to program your mind to be able to pick an area and
Out of a
hone
big
in on
blank
it.
target.
Yeah,
right.
out of a big brown.
Shooting
you know, deer
lines.
target.
You know, I like to shoot lines. I try to break it up a little bit. You
Yeah.
know,
Well, going back to some of the target particulars, you know, if you go on the pro target, Mackenzie targets, and so
Mhm.
you look at the turkey target,
oh yeah, it's
dark
different.
target, you can't hardly see the rings. The contours are irregular,
Right.
and it could be sitting in the shadows.
I've
So-
seen one of the ways they orient them though. They won't orient. They have to be broadside.
Exactly. There's no angles.
Yeah,
Right.
they don't want
Right.
any glances.
Yep,
So
that's
that's you do get.
But just
that
the same,
shot.
you have to find that ring.
And these animals, they differ. You go look at that target spot. It's different on a turkey.
Yes. Yes.
Anybody's
Well-
shot a turkey with a bow knows they are pretty tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's other things that they do to kind of trip you up,
Oh yeah,
like the
terrain.
bedded doe, like
Yes,
or the
that's
bedded buck.
that's always a good one. That's
Yeah.
always hard.
I
That's-
mean,
The dreaded bedded. That's what they
Yeah.
call him, isn't it?
you
yeah.
know, all them vitals are all smashed up. In
Like
the
in
back
real
there.
life, I like my bucks bedded
Right. Right. But
because I'm sneaking up on him and gonna stick one in. The
here's a question I would ask.
we digress.
You guys get.
Attempting.
Here's a question I would ask
Okay.
on form, because my form is not great.
I see you pound some arrows in there though.
Coming
No.
from an 8.
Here's the thing.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Feeling better about
Being a
myself.
7 now, I would say you're a 7, man.
So on a form,
He's not going to put you above him.
Hey, man, Wes knows me. I'm an edifier.
What-
I'll build
what's-
you up, buddy.
what is more important, proper or consistent?
Got to be both
It's about.
I think proper is in the eye of the beholder to some degree.
to some degree.
Obviously, there's stuff that's like, that's wank, man. That's Jack. You know, you
can't.
need.
We got the audience over here laughing on that one.
In case you
It's an
folks don't
English
know,
term,
yeah,
you
we-
wanker.
Yeah. so we do have a studio audience now, in case anyone was
Yes. Need
wondering.
to
Yeah.
turn the camera on them for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two are laughing and one's trying to figure out what was said.
What's he mean?
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is,
Oh my.
obviously, like dude, you are slapping, punching the trigger.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's bad form.
Right.
Yep.
Uh,
You're torquing.
you've
Yeah.
got a death Mary
Right.
grip on the bow. You know, I mean, that's
Let it go.
ease up on it. But like, you might be talking about, well, I draw this way,
I am.
and I don't know that really even matters. Now, that being said, a different style may drop you into your actual form
Yes.
quicker.
Yeah.
I've been working on that.
And I've listened to different ones that would say when they drop in, it's like when they drop in, they drop into the place they shoot from.
Mhm.
And some people pull back and then waller themselves into
Right,
the place they
right.
shoot from.
Well, my issue is I draw with my elbow down,
Yeah.
and because
But
of that,
if you have something in your shoulder that makes you do that,
and that might be why I didn't notice it until this year. Like, and I hurt my shoulder this year, but I noticed that when I draw, it's always like this and then come
and
up.
then you come up into it.
Yeah.
I've seen some stuff. You try drawing a liver. You guys ever get out there and you're like, man, that really felt good when you drew. You know, you're like, man, that just slid right in the pocket right there.
Yeah.
It felt good. And you're like, I want to replicate the ease of that draw. And I was watching some stuff where guys were, like you're saying, you're settling in, and they were taking, what they were doing is they were kind of bringing it above their head, and what they were pushing as they would draw, they were pushing their shoulder blade down into the spot, and they would come right down on the target. And I tried that several times, and I started picking it up. But you could feel when you didn't, because it was like, man, I would draw it back. Oh, that felt so smooth. The bow, there was like everything was working together, and then I'd be like, I'm still pulling with my back.
Well, I guess here's my major issue with it right now is my form is such that I've drawn that way for so long
Sure.
that I'm stronger in that area, and I'm too weak to pull the bow
To do it the other way.
like it should be pulled.
This is my thought on this. If
I don't know if it should be though.
No, I don't know
The
that
thing
matters.
is, someone will say, the right person will be like, dude, you need to learn how to draw your bow. And I don't get on those trains because I don't think that's necessarily.
Because if you hit the
Right.
12 ring,
Well,
then you're good.
here's the deal. People will hear me say I'm too weak to draw it that way. I can pull an 80-pound bow.
I watched you do it.
We've seen stuff.
Yeah.
Shut up, Doug.
When you work with this guy, you know.
I wasn't disagreeing.
I can pull an 80-pound bow, but I can't pull a 70-pound bow the way Lathan pulls it.
Smooth.
Well,
Well,
with-
Lathan's
with-
got the whole
no, when I say that,
machine
I mean
extreme.
That's right.
elbow up,
Mhm.
pulling the peep to your face.
Yeah.
Superior genetics.
I was getting ready to go somewhere. I reeled myself in pretty quick. there.
But you're saying because you
Which is
pulled-
surprising.
because you've pulled so long elbow down. But
Yeah.
I'm saying, do your
Up.
shoulders hurt?
It
when you-
hurts. Yeah.
Mm.
So
Generally, that's your body saying, don't do that.
Yeah, that's
anymore."
right.
Yeah.
Stop
Yeah.
doing that.
I'm
right.
like this. If you can get it back and get settled in and not be fatigued and make the shot, then do you.
But
don't-
I just found out today through you guys that you have to draw your bow a certain way to shoot in this.
Well, you
in this
no real
division.
high drawing sky.
Yeah, you
drawing.
can't be like.
Yeah.
Yeah, there definitely
You
some
know,
rules against that.
But if you see the professionals, this is I watched. Yeah, I've sat and watched. You know, they'll bring it up.
I
and
love
then
you, Mike Cole.
Is
Uh-oh.
Wes
we
said
at
I'm
there?
strong. Or Mike
you
said
go.
Wes is strong. So
Well, we all know Mike Cole
mean,
has
yeah,
superior
Mike
strength.
Cole is
I can
a
smell you from here.
beast.
strong man.
He can pick
Uh,
up rocks like nobody.
That's when you're-
Sandbags. You
Oh,
name
Oh,
it.
man. When
We've
you're-
seen it.
sandbags are heavy.
Yeah.
When they're full of sand, they're really heavy.
You are right.
Yeah, yeah. I can
So-
move all kinds of sandbags, but when
So
they're full of
here's-
sand, I'd rather have someone else move them.
Here's
you
one
know?
thing that I'm realizing more and more these last few days, weeks, but last few days especially. Whatever you're doing with your form, that's getting your bow steadied off more
Quick.
quickly counts, because the longer you're at full draw, the more fatigued you tend to get. So, and you've got to do this 20 times in that shoot, not counting if you're letting down once or twice on, you know,
Which may
for that.
happen.
So I'm saying, like, whatever
Yeah.
you're doing with your form to get that pin steadied off and stable faster to
Mhm.
start with,
it's
gonna help.
I'm just looking across this thinking there are so many things
Oh yeah. That's what
that
makes it so cool.
in order to do this, in order for everything to fall together, because here's the deal. Okay, so we've had a few people come on that don't know. We're going to try and compete against the pros at Metropolis.
The pose.
The
We're
pros.
try to get on the
All of
podium.
And that's the thing. Our goal is to get on the podium.
The
Like,
top rung.
that's right. We want to be in the top 3 in Metropolis. And it's all in an effort to see, can the average
Can it be
guy
done?
compete with the pros if you dedicate yourself to it?
Oh, absolutely.
Like, if you pour yourself into this
well,
for 3 months,
how did they get there? They were men and women that
but
had some talent.
they
and had-
are. But here's the thing: can you close that gap?
I think you can. I mean, my gosh, we live and breathe these things every day.
Oh, it's pouring outside. You know what that means, Lathan.
Oh,
It
the
means the
bike.
ground's getting wet.
Needs a ride home.
Oh,
Lathan's on the old
Parking
motorcycle.
the old Harley in the shop tonight.
But
Man,
can
I'll
a
drive
guy
it in deep.
close that gap between the average guy and the pro?
We're gonna
I
find
think
out.
so. I think so. Because you're going to have weather that's going to play, you know.
what makes a pro a pro?
Yeah, because he's done it enough to where he's got good at it.
Well,
And
Some of them
there's
may
the,
just be paying the money.
Oh, you know that. I mean, these guys are going to be some sharp dressed
there's some
men.
good shooters.
Oh, there is.
Sure.
Oh, they're going to be.
They're the ones that
Like,
always
I
stand
for
on the
sure-
podium.
Yeah, they're lined up next to each other.
I for sure don't want to in any way insult the fact
No,
that they're
discredit.
fantastic
No.
shots.
You can get
No.
on there right now and you can see their scores. And there are some guys in there that are dead ringers. You can see them, man. They're right there.
Yeah.
You know, they strive. This is what they do. You know, so
But my goal is to say, can the average guy
compete with them.
become a fantastic shot
Absolutely.
in 3 months?
Through discipline. I mean, this is the thing. It's not like we're going, hey, here's the first time you've ever held a bow in your life. You have 3 months to go stand next to world champions.
Yeah.
You know, could that be done? Absolutely. You could, some very high skilled, you know, individual idiot savant get up there and just punch it. You know what I mean? For real. I'm just being honest. Like, bow,
a
arrow.
lot of
target.
places I could go with this.
Guy that's not scared to send it.
Yeah, somebody's not scared to send it, man. You know, I just send it. And
Maybe
some-
I'll hit it.
I mean, because I won't if I don't. So-
Oh my! What have we done?
It really, there's a lot of aspects to it, though.
discipline is the key here, man.
What is, we call it path to the podium. That means you got to get in the top 3 to stand on the platform.
Yep.
And hold your check and
Yeah.
get your picture taken.
So in the super senior class,
we didn't address
So,
that. 'cause
yeah.
Doug's
There are
not
classes.
shooting. Doug's not shooting the same
So-
class.
so
as we
hang on
are.
just a
He'll
minute.
probably be in the same class
do
with Bill
have s-
McCall.
He actually can.
I do have some information. I checked because I was a little concerned about where I was going to have to be. You know, in the super elderly senior class, like if there was going to be like 2 of us, I just want to know what's going to happen.
So there's some pretty good
but-
guys in that
Known
class.
yardage out to 15 yards.
50 yards.
Assist you.
Yeah, right. Steady readies are allowed. So
They are in some circumstances. I
They
read
got
that.
those little chairs that go upstairs that take you down to the target.
the little stair chairs.
big
Awesome.
spotting scope
You know, I
out
would-
there for you.
I will sign up for that if that's what they've got.
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh.
What's your info?
Well, asking PJ, you know, he's a wealth of information on this sort of thing. He said you can sign up for the general class. You don't have to, just because you had a 50th birthday doesn't mean you automatically have
Sure.
to sign, but it allows you to shoot that class if you want to. So he said lots of people have stuck with the other classes for a few years for various reasons, and you know, moved up whenever they felt they wanted to. So I don't have to do that. I don't know what I will do, but I mean,
I would
could.
encourage you to do it.
The senior?
You think so?
I would. Because here's the reason why. I feel like
Oh no!
that's not where I was
Oh,
going.
no.
with that.
No, he's messing.
You're a solid.
I
seven.
feel like it's
That's what he said. That's what he said. Yeah.
I feel like it broadens our scope
Sure.
to be able to say,
Well, I can see
okay,
that.
Doug showed up in the senior class and he did fantastic.
I stayed awake the entire time.
Didn't
Actually,
use the-
made good time because he's
Didn't use the chair
passing
one
people.
time.
Not one time. That's my goal. Yeah. No, that may be right.
What if we went down there and everybody shot a different class?
Why don't we do
That's
that?
something
You
to.
want to do that?
Here's the thing. I've already pitched it as
Yeah.
what it is.
Okay.
I would like to think that the senior class is going to be very highly skilled.
Oh, the
individuals.
senior class is
These
great.
guys have been doing this forever. These are the guys that they've been doing
I'd
this
say.
stuff for 30
Yeah.
plus years,
Yeah.
you know, doing these ASAs. I mean, they were there. These guys are
Do
the
the
ones who
rules?
founded it.
Do the rules differ?
There are some things that
Slight
change through the
things.
classes. I think it's the super senior. The speed comes down a little bit.
280.
and everything. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
They've got a
so-
medic on hand.
at
Yeah.
all times.
No doubt.
Paddles out.
CPAC machine for those who like to take a nap. Such a joke. I love and respect my elders. Call upon them when needed.
Everybody's water bottle has a little Geritol in it.
No doubt. Get him going.
Metamucil.
But not too fast.
There's an outhouse at every
No
turn.
doubt. Make sure everybody's good.
Oh.
Oh, man.
Super big
So
prostate.
seriously, slower speeds. 280 is the max.
Yeah, in the super senior, but I think the senior class is still
290.
Oh,
Yes, I seen
Oh, we
that.
got super
Yeah, so
senior.
they're
Man.
they're shooting.
Super senior. What is that?
65.
That's someone who doesn't graduate
Yeah,
the first time. That's how that is. That's this is my second time here, boys.
It's
You
either
know,
60 or 65 and older. I can't
well
remember.
respected
Yeah.
senior is what that is.
Hmm.
So anyway, I don't know. You think that's what we should do? I mean, I'll do that.
I think that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Like to be able to see across a spectrum where we fall.
To shoot different. So you think to shoot different?
Well, here's the thing. We
I'm
could
open for that.
potentially, let's say we just absolutely do fantastic. We could have two
You could have-
different podium pictures.
You could have 4 different podium pictures.
Well, we could, but all of us, if we were all on the podium,
Together,
that would be
slapping
one
high
picture.
fives, slapping high fives. Oh yeah, macho man. up
Here's the
there.
deal. If we all ended up on the podium, we just changed the archery world.
Oh, we would.
So.
They
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
we cheated.
And
There are
there's-
those listening now that are thinking, "What are these guys?"
These guys are
Yeah.
idiots.
Clowns.
Yeah.
We'll show you.
Yeah. That's right.
All
We're
right,
waiting
we will
for you.
show
I'm
you.
not going to say that.
I'm not
Right.
either. We will have a good time.
Yeah, it'll be
Yes.
fun.
That's right.
And this is
And
the thing.
it'll make your heart go pitter patter
Yeah.
when you walk up to the target.
On the back end,
You'll have to deal with intimidation because you're
Absolutely.
shooting next to a guy that
Who looks the part and
yeah,
probably is the
you
part.
could be in a cast with some names that
You don't know.
you may be in a cast with the group and the guy that you're shooting with, his name is on the arrow you're shooting. So
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
that's potential.
Could
So you have to
sign this,
deal with
sir?
that. You'll have a good time. Your heart will go pitter patter. You'll have to deal with intimidation and pressure. And what's the other one I was getting ready to say? Frustration
Oh yeah.
yeah.
when you don't hit a 12
To
ring.
take
If
your
that
thoughts
happens,
captive, man.
because if you miss the 12 ring,
You are second place.
you know, I mean,
It
well,
could-
you can come back, but
If you're not first,
Yeah.
because there's a
Doesn't
good
matter.
chance, there's a good
First
chance
loser.
it could happen, but there's probably a better chance that the winning score is not 240.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. That's the best possible conditions. That's
That's I mean, that's not missing a
perfection.
12, and even a pro misses the 12 ring.
Oh yeah.
here and
So-
there, so.
A lot of them hit him though too. I mean,
But
long-
you could go have an awesome day. You could put in the time, beat in some shots,
yeah,
get your rig like you want it, go down there and your eyes are clear and your heart's beating slow and your
Yeah.
thumbs working right, and
You're
your
in the
shoulder
rhythm,
blades are
man.
in tune, and all of a sudden you could start laying down 12s
and you feel it. And you
could-
do.
you could stand up there. I think personally, I do think that you could do it.
I feel that way.
That
too.
a guy could get real serious in 3 months and put himself
Yeah.
in a position where he's a contender. I could have been.
How long did
Yeah.
it take in the book of Nehemiah? How long did it take them to build the wall?
I don't know.
What was it? It wasn't very long.
A couple months.
was
No,
long.
I don't know. I
but
really
it
don't
wasn't
know.
very long.
I know they fought with one hand and,
And
With a
was
spear in
replacing
one
the-
hand. Yeah.
and
replacing-
built
Yeah.
with the other, a tool
You
in
know,
the other. So
Yeah.
And so, and what I get at when I say that is, it was that spirit of unity that was driving them
yeah,
to do it.
the
And-
human, if they'll get serious about stuff, can achieve things.
And I
Yeah.
know that I'm sitting at
for
a
sure.
table right now with some very serious guys.
Well,
No, for
we've-
real. You know,
Yeah.
listen, man, I know I've been.
We have a hard time convincing the people
I-
watching that.
well,
In the last
Well,
30 minutes, it'd be hard to see
Well,
it. but
I'm
I get
still kind of new to the group here, but I do know that anytime that I do better than Lathan, he grits his teeth, and he's like, "Oh, nope."
I
Yeah.
don't,
That ain't happening,
I don't like it.
You
I
don't like it. I do because it just pushes you.
Well,
to
I
be
mean,
better.
yeah.
I
like,
see that. I'm like, oh yeah.
I don't like somebody to shoot better than me.
Well,
And
I
it's
don't
not
either.
because I don't like the person.
No, it's
They
just in you. It's the
need
drive.
not to be a little better than me.
It's
Yeah.
the drive,
Yeah.
and which is the drive is going to
Well,
push you.
So this whole thing has the potential to be a humbling experience because
Oh,
you know,
sure.
you're going to
Go
get
down there
there.
and get your guts
Hundred-
stomped out.
That's
Humble
right.
pie, man.
Hundreds of shooters that want to do the exact same thing we're
Yes.
talking about doing.
Yeah, you could
And
leave
so-
this thing and look like that raccoon that's laying out here by the
Yeah.
clover leaf.
Belly up, huh?
Yeah. So,
Smashed his guts out.
but at
man.
the same time, at the same
I'm gonna
time,
have a ball.
if this isn't fun, why do you
Why are we
do it?
doing it?
yeah, it'd
So,
be fun.
so you know,
We're
do
gonna
the absolute best you can, hone your skills the best you can, and go have fun.
30 years ago, it could have been bad for me, but I've reined myself in quite nicely. Now I just have fun.
self-control.
Self-control has reached a new level that
A good
or
thing.
a good level that it didn't have 30 years ago. So
That's the
there's a
whole-
time I mean, I could take a bow and snap it over my knee. I could see myself doing that in this
Yeah.
scenario, and I would never do that.
I'm
now.
like, no, don't throw it in that water.
I don't think. I did say that. the
Yeah,
other
I was
night,
like, don't
didn't I?
do that. Yeah.
Yeah. I was having wasn't shooting very good groups the other night. There's a big water
I
pond
was
back
like,
there, you
no,
know, and I said,
don't
"You
do
see
it."
that water over there? I'm about to throw this thing
Yeah.
in it."
And I was quick to be like, and I knew that he wasn't, but I thought he just needed
Yeah,
to
I
hear.
was just joking.
like,
I was just joking.
Don't.
I was just joking.
You had his back, didn't you?
I did have his
Yeah.
back.
So there you go.
I
That's
do-
important.
I do have his back.
That's
I do.
important.
I have your back too.
Man, that's good.
You probably need someone to have your back.
It scares me a little. It scares me a little, but I feel like in the long run, it's a good thing. But it scares me a little right now.
Yeah.
Well, it should.
See, I knew that.
Good perception.
Yeah.
So I know I just checked out for a minute, but I'm checking out because I'm looking to see what the final for
What it pays.
what the open
Because man, if I ain't coming back with some jack, bro.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Where
Come back
did
with
we
any jack.
find
That's
this
really
guy?
wank.
Oh,
so it ended up Levi Morgan came in second and Brady Myers came in first. Brady Myers shot a 491.
Out of a possible.
I don't-
491.
I don't-
yeah, he was
450.
plus 40. He was plus 50 points.
I
Yeah.
don't know
So
what that is.
perfect is 400. That's counting the shoot off.
Well,
If it's
and
240,
it's not
it'd be 480.
480 would be perfect
But if you
before
do
the
shoot off,
And I'm not sure. I want to say the shoot off is 5 targets.
yeah, there's some kind of rhythm they have there. I mean, you're
never
adding-
been there.
No,
So
I've never been
so-
to the SA
so-
shoot off. No, I've not been.
So
there.
he must he had to shoot in the shoot.
They-
To shoot,
they
he had
tied.
to shoot some 14s.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, surely at some
in
point,
the shoot off, you may have tied.
is
and took
that
it
the
down
only
because there's
place?
rules where you tie and then you go down and you shoot off.
Well, in the shoot off though, like or the I don't know what they call it exactly,
Sudden
but
death.
there's 5 guys that go up, and the 5 guys are shooting the 5 targets, and literally they go. Basically, one guy steps over the next one, and then one guy will come all the way around, and he will shoot that target. So everybody's shooting.
Is it 3 rounds or something?
No,
It's just one arrow in
5
each.
targets, and every guy takes a different animal
Okay.
and then steps over to the next.
Everybody
animal,
okay.
rotates through it.
rotates
Okay.
through.
Okay.
So you're not shooting.
So there's 25
You're
shots.
standing by
total.
yourself, essentially.
You are
shooting.
standing by yourself. There's 5 targets, and everybody is in a line. Everybody shoots the target that they are on at the time.
Yes.
So,
And you hear that still, sudden voice go, "You can do it."
So 491, he shot perfect in the
Yes.
course.
not necessarily. No, because I mean, assuming 45 targets,
Let's
Yeah.
do some math.
Yeah, because 480 would be a perfect score
540 would be perfect.
if they did 20. If they did the additional 5.
Oh, so he was down quite a bit from.
Sure.
There's a lot of 12s out of the game there. Then.
Absolutely.
I feel better about it all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So you're saying
There's a chance.
So you're telling me there's a chance? Like 1 in a million.
I'm down.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
So just doing the math, I mean, you got to average, let's say, across that.
11.
So the bottom 12 is always in play.
That's how I understand.
And you have to call the top.
Mhm.
Yes.
Mhm.
So if you just hit the top 12 and you didn't say
No.
top 12,
As
it's
I
a
understand
10.
it. Yeah.
It's a 10,
It's a 10.
which is better than an 8.
Yes.
But not as
Is
good
it
as
a no? Is it an 8 or a 10?
It's still in
It's in the 10 ring.
It's still in the 10 range.
The 12s are in the 10. Now, well, yeah, if you hit the top 12 and you didn't call it, the 12s are, from my remembrance, are in the 10
Some of them
ring.
have 3 12s, don't they?
I don't know. All I'm thinking is numbers
No,
right
that
now.
they're in the 8.
we're
They're in
math-
the 8. That's what
we're
I'm
The
saying.
10s in the
mathing over
middle.
here.
Yeah, the 10's in the middle, the 2 12s, and the 8 surrounds
I
them
wish
all.
we had an ASA target here. You can get just the blanks, the
So-
paper blanks to shoot at.
So yeah, when you
Wish we had
you
one
want
here
you
we
want to
could
make sure
hang
you
it for
call
the
that.
camera.
So here's the deal. I know that this is could be what happened. So at a 491, he shot under 30 12s out of his 45. Does that make
You're
sense?
including
One more
the
time.
shoot off.
Yeah.
One more time.
Including the shoot off.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
here's the deal. We're planning on making the shoot off.
Oh yeah.
That's the goal.
If you're gonna stand on the podium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that being the case, you're shooting 45 targets total.
hmm
So,
Potentially.
yes. And 45 targets, if you shot it perfect, 100% perfect on 12s, you would be at 540.
Okay.
And those
So,
last 5 could be
yes.
14s.
There's potential for
they could.
14s. Yeah. So that gives you
So what I'm saying is
Monkey
based on a
age.
491,
that's a 10 extra points in there.
Mhm.
I mean 491 he shot 25
hmm
or less.
Perfect shots.
Yeah. So I mean
You just got
There's
be
ability.
consistent. Yeah.
A lot
Yeah.
of 10s in there.
Yeah.
And you
Lot-
can shoot
lots
an
of
8
10s.
and dig out.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's been done many times.
If a guy
Yeah,
just
you can
sets and
dig out.
hammers 10s,
well, I
you're
think
gonna hit
you're
12.
gonna hit 8s too.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It
So,
will happen.
If you think it's not going to happen, just wait 90 days and we'll see.
all that being said, stay tuned for what we're doing.
Yeah.
We're going to be putting out a lot of videos pertaining to this. I hope we didn't bore you guys tonight with, numbers too much.
Are we
or-
wrapping up?
We're going to wrap it up.
It's about time,
Yeah,
probably.
we're an hour and 36 minutes in, so
Oh,
I'm sure
yeah,
there's
this could
people that
go.
are like, that needs to be over.
Yeah.
Josh, it needs to be over. All
Okay.
right.
All right.
Okay. I mean,
But I think we can do it. I think we can be competitive.
I think so,
And,
too.
and that's
we
the
will.
goal. So I want to say this, not to be competitive, to podium. Our goal is the podium.
Yeah, you're going down with the mindset. If you're not going down the
Mindset of the
mindset to
podium.
win,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you've already lost.
I'm not even going if I don't have the mindset to win.
That's right.
That's what's going to propel you to win.
Right.
I want to finish the day shaking Levi Morgan's hand, saying, sorry, bud.
Yeah.
You did
Good
really
try.
well today.
Good try, man.
You did good.
Yeah.
You made a good show.
Yeah. Good
Oh,
Yeah.
my.
And I don't mean that as an insult. I mean that as I hope that on the back end, if that happens, this was a success. Like
so,
giant success.
That is it will be.
There's
but
other
I believe it's
aspects.
also a success no matter what.
It will
Oh,
be.
yeah.
It will
you're
be
gonna
because
test yourselves, and that just makes you better.
That's
Sure.
ultimately who I'm going up against.
Yeah.
You'll
I'm going
sell.
up against myself.
Tough
Yeah.
competition.
This is what I had an 8. You know, I mean, really, I'm going there to do my best.
Well,
And if I
here's
do
the
my
deal.
best,
I don't want to, on the way home, if we all look at each other and we like, man, that was a bomb. It wasn't a bomb because
No,
the goal
we
of this
completed
is
it.
to see
To see if we can
To
do
see
if
it.
a guy
yeah.
can do it.
Yep.
So,
Science.
and I'm going, man, we're going to meet some lifelong companions down there, man. You're going to meet people.
You may
Yeah,
not.
yeah. Oh, you're getting a little carried away.
I will.
all right.
We'll be your lifelong companion.
So
I'll take that.
we thank you guys for watching.
Right
Yes.
on.
We
Yeah.
thank Black Eagle, Conquest, and Matthews for playing a part in this. We're
Yes.
excited about that. Stay tuned for all the videos that are going to be coming up in the upcoming weeks, talking about what we're doing, talking about what we're working on that week to improve. We will have special guests on periodically. We're going to have Bill McCall.
Yes.
Hopefully we can have PJ Riley, Danny Evans. We're going to have some guys on that will teach us some things, and hopefully we can be teachable. So
Yes.
we
Path
appreciate
to
you
the
guys
podium.
watching. So you guys, if you get a chance, tune in the morning. We're going to have a Bible study in the morning. I'm sure Lathan's got something good for us. And if he,
It's a better path.
that's a better path.
The better path. Is that
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
title?
So
No, but
It could
path
be.
to the podium would be fun, but that path is the better path.
that is the better path.
Yeah.
So
That was
Might
you,
even
though.
help you get to the podium.
I'd say it would.
Keep
you there
well
anyway.
done.
I got
thou
inside
good and faithful
information.
servant.
Wrap it up.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. We appreciate you watching. And this has been Up for Discussion. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.